Ain't this crazy? Ain't this crazy? Okay. So this is another rant. I feel as though all my video game content is essentially going to be rants. So a game by the name of Baldur's Gate 3 came out, right? And AAA developers have been losing their fucking minds. Because number one, this game has a fantastic level of polish. I'm talking about every single thing on the map interactable. Individuals you walk up to will give you nuggets of information in regards to the lore. Every single person you talk to has some type of quest or responds in some type of way to the actions that you essentially did. Did you allow the team of people fighting for their lives at the front of the gate to die? Well, the people inside the town, when you go in, are going to feel a certain type of way. Did you save them in a timely manner and kill all the enemies? Did you save them in a timely manner and tame one of the enemies? The people in the town are going to react a certain type of way. Did you talk to those three people over there, which causes them to go off on a thing over here, which causes them to go up to a thing up here, which connects to a thing back here that leads you back to this major quest happening over there? The polish in this game is insane. On top of the fantastic voice acting, the great and catchy music that just enters your ears and sits inside your brain, and you find yourself humming at random points throughout the day. AAA developers are losing their fucking minds because a bunch of AAA developers have essentially come out to complain, where they're like, no, 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 no. You have it wrong. You see, this is an anomaly. You can't expect this level of polish from major AAA studios, because if we were to give you this level of polish, a bunch of our studios would shut down. They wouldn't be here. No one should expect this level of polish to be available and ready for the consumers. Not everyone can do what this small fucking studio essentially did, which is take their time, work with their fans and their early adopters to change certain aspects, to put in certain things, to get certain things in place, to deliver a 100% comprehensive and complete experience. Because according to AAA studios, according to the devs and the third party developers who also work for AAA studios, according to them, we've never seen this before. It's an absolute anomaly. We've never had an era where you should expect to receive completely finished and polished games. Yes, we did. That was the early 2000s. The early 2000s, I was able to sit down and I was able to play through Max Payne 1, Max Payne 2, Max Payne 3, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10-2, messing around with online for 11, even though that was low-key bad. I was able to play through all the Devil May Cry games. I was able to play through a bunch of JRPGs. I was able to play through Final Fantasy Tactics. I was able to play through La Cell Tactics. I was able to play through Desgaia. I was able to play through Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty, the one that happened in Pacific. Was that World at War? No, was that World at War, the new one? Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, Black Ops 2, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo ODST. All of these games I was able to play through from beginning to end. There wasn't a day one patch. There wasn't something coming out from the studio, because if your game came out and your game was bad to the point that it did not work, we'd simply just take the game, because we still had the receipt where we could return the game within 48 hours, and we'd go right back up to GameStop and we'd refund the game. Then word of mouth would spread. Nobody else would purchase the game, or they would cancel their pre-orders before they came to pick up the game, and your shit would crash and it would burn. The problem is, in the last few years, it was no longer about shipping a finished product. It was just about getting the product onto the market to get your money and then promise you that maybe we're going to work on it so that, we can fix a lot of the bugs and the issues that you guys are currently having. And that's just basically been the mentality. The mentality is basically now. The mentality is push it out to market. If it works, yay. If it doesn't, oh well, we made our fucking deadline. We'll fix it in a year. And for the people who play through the bugs, deal with the bullshit, deal with the crashes, deal with the loss of save files, deal with the enemy AI, which is operating on one brain cell, and that brain cell has dementia, and it's also suffering from a stroke, that the enemy is just doing the most wildest and baffling things on the face of the planet. They suffer through all that shit because they listen to these devs, these AAA studios, and these AAA studios tell them, yeah, we're going to work on it and we're going to fix it next year, and it's going to be the game that we promised you, and we're really, really sorry about this. And then next year comes, there is either minimal to no fucking patching, or the game, they just give up on the game entirely. They take the money that they made from the game and they start working on their next fucking project. And it's in limbo and development hell. And then one day, 3 years down the line, the two people that they had working on fixing the fucking bugs finally shoves the patch out there. And it's like, there you guys go. That's what we promised you. And that has been the mentality for the last, I would say, 15 years. See, I like to point this out. A lot of this shit happened because of the Xbox 360. Like, just how I don't even want to call it intuitive, just how open the architecture was, where if you were a dev and you were being crunched, you could push out the game to the Xbox marketplace or the PlayStation marketplace, and then you could push out a update for the game on that exact same marketplace to fix whatever type of issue or whatever type of bug. It made it so that you no longer had to work or put in the effort to make sure that you were shipping a complete product. Now you could easily meet the deadline. You can make as much money as you can from the pre-orders. You could have the pre-order money making interest off in some fucking bank account somewhere before you can touch it. Then when you get all that money, you could push it towards all of your other fucking projects that you're more serious about, that you're working on. And when customers ask for refunds, it's trickle back up, where it's the mom and pop shop or the GameStop or whatever the main party that you purchased the game from, they take the hit, and then the company itself takes a smaller hit and sends that money back to them. And that has been the way everything is working. The problem is, I don't think these AAA studios have been paying attention. People have becoming more and more frugal in how they spend their money. If your game is trash, we no longer throw money towards you. There are a lot of avenues now to get refunds. You put out a game that's garbage on Steam, Steam allows me to refund that bitch within 48 hours and get my money back. You put out a game that's garbage on PlayStation, I can call Sony direct and Sony can refund me my money back to my account. Or I can do the same thing on Xbox Live. And that idea is now killing a lot of franchises. Like, look at Anthem. Anthem came out. It was absolutely fucking horrible. People were able to get refunds for Anthem. Word of mouth spread. It didn't catch on the way in which it should. Collapse. Of course, there were things that were happening behind the scenes. Constant moving of the goalpost. Other issues that were going on the side. But that is just the biggest example of the type of culture that AAA studios currently inhabit. The culture of we need to meet a deadline, no longer the culture of we need to make sure that we ship this and it works, because if it goes out into the wild and it doesn't work, we're fucked. That is something that Baldur's Gate 3 is reawakening in people today. People are starting to look up and go, you know what? Look at all these romance options. Dozens of romance options with different partners that can go in multiple different angles. I'm not paying for a $60 game like Cyberpunk and I only have 2 romance options on the main path and another 3 if I go out of my way and I find them. or the romance options are super generic and it doesn't play into the type of character that I've basically created, where my character and the people around him interact with the way in which my character looks and the way in which my character's background is. Insanity. How could we put that in Cyberpunk? There's no way that a universe where people can mod themselves to look like cyborg ninjas, there's no way that universe would have an open mentality for the characters you meet in the story to interact with V if V basically walked in and looked like one of the members from the people that do the super augments on themselves, where like their whole head is gone and it's just like red spider eyes and a bunch of like maelstrom. No way that the party members I encounter would have a different reaction to V if he walked in looking like a maelstrom character. There's no way we can do something like that. We can't make the worlds a living, breathing thing that reacts to everything that you do. You shouldn't expect that from your RPGs in any way, shape, or form. I say bullshit. I say bullshit. I say Baldur's Gate 3 is the anomaly that AAA developers did not want, that is opening people's eyes to the fact that if they actually tried and if they actually cared about polishing the games and creating an experience for the consumer, where before the idea was creating this experience that created loyalty, so that that person would always see something that we put out and be like, I like this studio, I'm gonna go buy their game. If you were to recreate that in some way, shape, or form, that's too expensive. It takes too much time because we have a deadline. There's a profit margin to meet. We need to meet it right now. One of the like Xavier Nelson Jr., like a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the folks at Larian accomplished with Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to gently, preemptively push back against players taking that excitement and using it to apply criticism or raise standard to RPGs going forward. Bullshit. If I feel as though if the bar is raised, it's your job to either hit that bar again or slightly go above that bar. Like, look at Mass Effect. Mass Effect 1, great RPG. Mass Effect 2, rose the fucking bar. Mass Effect 3, not talking about the story, but the elements of the gameplay and how smooth everything was, rose the bar again. Story bar kind of fell a little bit until you got the extended cut towards the end that kind of cleared up a lot of the mess and chaos that the rainbow selection did. But Mass Effect 3 combat, the way in which your character moves, some of the stories and interpersonal stories with the characters that you've been with for like the last 3 games, absolutely fucking fantastic. Then you move on to Mass Effect Andromeda. I would say it's the same issue as Mass Effect 3. Combat, up here. Raise the bar. Way smoother, a lot more fluid. A lot more ways for your character to engage the enemy from multiple different angles. Fantastic. Story bar fell. Story bar fell, I would say, past 3, way past 2, and was probably around where it was in Mass Effect 1. But maybe I'm insane. Huh? Maybe I'm the anomaly. I'm the crazy one. Because I remember a time in my youth when I could go and purchase a game from GameStop, come home, play it to completion, and there was probably one bug. And if I hit that bug and it caused me to maybe have to reload a save or do something a little bit different, maybe even go online to like GameFAQs and look to see if anybody else had the bug and how they dealt with it. And I knew, okay, if I go inside this place, I can't go over and touch that one thing because that one thing's bug and it'll corrupt my entire save file so that I can't move forward. I remember those days where I'd have 1 or 2 bugs. But I remember those days. I'm looking out now, and they're like, oh, it's really, really difficult for us to create a new Halo game because we just don't know the direction that players want us to go in. Here's a fucking clue. How about a Halo game that has all the best maps we've ever had from previous Halos, that has maps that are built into the lore of the current Halo story that you're trying to tell? that when I go to look at what I need to do for my character, it's just a plain ass Spartan. And if I get 1,000 headshots, I unlock a scout Spartan armor for my character. And if I go off and I do executions, or I run over somebody with a fucking car, or I do this, or I do that, things for me to chase, for me to unlock, so that I can apply it to my character, so that I can have a red helmet with a green chest plate, with purple gauntlets, with pink boots, fully customizable armor, so that my character looks unique and the way in which I want my character to look, kind of like we already did with Halo Reach, you would have some level of retention, some level of a anti-cheat system that catches people using Zim and other bullshit to hack online and make that experience suck. Guns that actually feel good. Crazy. Baffling. I know. How can this random guy give us the secret sauce on how to make a good Halo game? Because we've had it before. Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, Halo Reach. The secret sauce is there. I'd even say Halo 4. The secret sauce is there. It's not even a secret sauce. It's like your grandmother walks in and she tells you exactly what you have to fucking do to make this recipe taste like hers. And you're like, okay, grandma, time to take you back to the fucking nursery home. And you pack her up with all her shit and the secret ingredients, and you drop her off at the nursing home and you just forget about her. And then 2 days later, you're making up that spaghetti and you're like, fuck, what did she say I was supposed to put in it? Oh, I don't remember. Loot boxes. And it's like, I'm gonna put some loot boxes in here. That's definitely what grandma put in Halo 2, 3 and Halo Reach. Loot boxes. And we're gonna create shaders that are color coded. And we're gonna take a bunch of stuff from Destiny and we're gonna put it inside a Halo, even though it's gonna cause some weird levels of overlap that are gonna rub people the wrong way. I can only hope and pray that this entire, like, the whole thing, across the board, the entire system that AAA studios have essentially created to prey on people and take their money and screw them over by promising these great games, by obfuscating their shitty game, by running these 4K, this is footage on a PlayStation 3, when in truth you're running it on a like $8,000 fucking PC with ray tracing and a bunch of other bullshit going on in the background, with the character interacting with a bunch of people while walking through this small vertical slice that you cut out and made especially for E3, so that people can like get super hype and start pre-ordering your game. I'm hoping that poisonous system that we've been dealing with for the last 12 years, I can only hope and pray that Baldur's Gate 3 is just the knife that slipped between that bullshit armor and brings the entire system down, crushes the entire fucking thing. Because I feel as though as gamers, everybody is just sick and tired of being screwed over. Everybody's sick and tired of being screwed over, because it's bullshit. Nobody wants to spend their money on a game that doesn't live up to what you're telling me and what you've been showing me as lies in these vertical slices. Nobody wants to play that game. Like we've been there. We've burnt. You've burned us too many times over the years. You've burned us way too many times. You burned us with Halo 5, Cyberpunk. The original launch of Fallout 76, Anthem, Black Ops 4. Was that 5? I want to say it was 4. Too many times, way too many times we've been screwed over. And now that a game comes out that everybody's looking around like, damn, that's what it's like to get something that actually fucking works. Now that game has come out, it's an issue. We can't live up to that. It's impossible. How can you expect us to do it? It's never been done before. There's no way RPGs can be this intuitive. We don't know how to make those. What do you expect from us? I expect you to hit that fucking bar. If you want this money, you want this money, you want to get paid, you want that studio to stay open, you see this bar that they just hit, I expect you to hit that fucking bar. It's up here. We're not dealing with this shit no more. We're not dealing with this shit down here no more. It's up here. It's up here. You create the experience. We're not waiting for the mod community to fix your shit no more. We're not waiting for those guys to sift through the code and see all your fucking spaghetti code and bullshit that you guys are paid for. That's what you're paid to do. You're paid to make sure that your code works. We're not waiting for the mod community to come along 2 weeks later and fix all your shit. We're not waiting for the mod community to put out a better balance and patch than you're able to put out. It's over. That's done. We're not doing it no more. We'll do it for Skyrim. Bethesda can put out Skyrim and Starfield. We'll do it for them because we've crossed the Rubicon with Bethesda, where we already know they're always going to let us down with the initial game, and that the mod community is going to be there to back them up and fix that shit. But for everybody else, no. Your passes have been revoked. Shit's over with now. We're up here. Welcome to the era of Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I feel as though this is where if you remember A Knight's Tale, when he gets hit with the javelin at the end of A Knight's Tale and he has that hallucination, the guy on the floor is the AAA studio. And it's the gamers and Larian and Baldur's Gate 3 that are just like hovering over him. Like, welcome to the new world. God help you. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.